Hey YouTube, what's going on? For today's video we've got something super epic planned because I'm doing another how-to video, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do one of my all-time favorite tricks, the tabletop. So the tabletop, the table, the tabe, the pancake, the flatty, whatever you call it, is an absolute timeless trick. It is super fun to do. It feels so good to do it. It's a trick that you can take anywhere, and it's going to be appreciated and respected by everyone, whether they're an absolute beginner or like a full-time professional rider. And it's a trick you can do anywhere, whether it's on a quarter pipe at the skate park, at the pump track, at your local dirt jumps, or doing like enduro laps with your buddies. The tabletop is a trick that is super fun to do and will just always go down a treat. And today I'm going to show you guys how to do it. This how-to video will be really similar to other how-to videos I have on the channel, like my how to backflip video and how to 360 video. How it will work is I'm going to break down how to tabletop by watching slow-mo clips from non-point of view of me doing the tabletop to show you what I do, what the bike's doing, give you a gauge of what you should be doing, and I'll also show you some point of view clips from the GoPro to try and show you what it looks like from your perspective of how it should work. But to start off, I want to start this one a bit different, start off in the garage and give you guys a few starting tips that really helped me when I learned to tabletop. My first tip for working on your tabletops is to work out which way is your natural way to do them. So you need to work out whether you want to do them to your right side or to your left side. I do recommend learning them both ways, because that way if you go to like a different skate parks, to the dirt jumps or trail, you're able to do them to the way the trail goes and not be stuck on being able to do them one way and not be able to do them at every spot you go to. So do work on doing them both ways. But to start off, work out what your natural way is. A good way to do that is to work out which foot you ride forward. So I'm left foot forward, which means I should tabletop to my left side. The reason why you do it to your left side if you're left foot forward, or your right side if you're right foot forward, is because your front foot can then go over the frame to get your knees together like this, and vice versa if you're right foot forward. You can bring that right foot over like this, get your knees over the frame nicely and get it clicked. And so, funnily enough, while I say that is the best advice, I actually do my tabletops goofy footed, which means I do them towards my back foot. So I am left foot forward, but tabletop to the right hand side. If you're like me and you do them goofy footed, don't stress. It actually doesn't make a difference to how you do them. They might just look a little bit different. You might struggle to get them as clicked as some of the pros do, but trust me, they do work, and I find them just as enjoyable. So to start off, find out which way feels natural to you. Some ways to do this could be just sitting here, going like this and twisting the bike. Work out what way feels natural, or even getting on your bike and just sort of feeling it out, doing some little bunny hops and going, oh yeah, this way, oh yeah, that way, and working it out. Or the fail-proof way to do it is find a skate park flyout or a small dirt jump and just start trying to push the bike, see which way feels natural to you. Once you think you know which way is your natural way to tabletop, you can start sort of working on some of the motions for the tabletop. So something you can do in your garage or even sitting on your bike at home is just working on the arm movement. Because for me, I always found the arm movement was the hardest thing to get down. Once I had the arm movement down, everything else followed naturally. So how the arm movement works, I tabletop to my right. So what I do is I twist my right hand forward like this, like as if I'm revving like a motorbike the opposite way. Then my left hand twists as if I am revving a throttle. So it's sort of like this movement here, one wrist one way, one the other way. And how it looks on the bike is you go like this, twist this one in, twist this one out, and they go like this. I'll show you that a couple times. And as you do that, with this arm here, you're gonna flex this arm, extend another one, and get the bike like that, okay? So it sort of looks like you go like this. You kind of flex this arm, extend that one out, and it ends up looking like this. Show you the other way, or opposite way. Do it a bit better for you. So it's all about that movement there, flexing and extending the arm. So you're sort of like moving the bike like this. And then once you've sort of got that, then you can work on doing it a bit underneath you and turning the handlebars, making sure to do it both ways. So you work out which way feels best for you, and just sort of get that arm motion down. Because if you have that arm motion down on the flat ground, you're familiar with it, it's then very easy to jump in the air and try and take it to there to feel it out. So that is my first tip I'll give to you before trying it on a jump, and I'll quickly show you the point of view of how that looks as well. Quickly from my point of view, so you're twisting this wrist forward, this one back, turning the bike to the side, just like this. It's going to look something like that when you do it. If you do it the other way, it's going to look like this. And just practice that a bit on the ground before you get into tabletop, and it may help with the development of the trick. Sweet guys, so there's a couple of tips to work on your tabletops before you take them to the jump or head out to the skate park, wherever you're going to do them. Let's head inside and break down how I do tabletops, hopefully teach you guys how to do them too. Something I forgot to mention while in the garage is that when you're learning your first tabletops, or just when you're doing tabletops anytime, tabletops work better and are easier to do if you're jumping a hip, or if you're like airing on a quarter pipe or spinning, as compared to when you do them jumping a jump straight or jumping a straight jump. This is because when you tabletop, you end up naturally jumping and turning a little bit the opposite direction to where the table happens. So for example, if you do a tabletop and bring the bike up onto your right hand side, the bike is naturally going to turn you and your body a little bit to the left, and vice versa. If you table on the left hand side, it's going to turn you to the right. And in taking that into consideration, this first tabletop clip we're going to break down is of me doing a tabletop on a left-hand hip at the Wanaka Skate Park. To start off, we'll play this clip in normal speed, then play it in slow-mo. So here it is in normal speed. Quick tab, nosing it in, and now at 1/4 speed, pulling up, folding the bike over with a twisting motion, nosing in, rolling away an absolute champion. And so now let's break this down into the different parts of the tabletop and how I did it in this video and how I do it normally when I do tabletops. Starting off, you're going to want to approach the hip or the jump you're jumping at the same speed you would to straight jump it. Eventually you can start going faster and even blasting into it, because with tabletops, the way they work, you can pull up really hard and then just crank them more and more to go higher, and they're a great trick for blasting jumps. But as you start off learning, just approach the jump with the same speed you would normally. Then at the top of the jump, when you first get into the air, you're going to want to start pulling up on the bike and pulling the handlebars in. And at the same time, starting to do that wrist motion, twisting one wrist this way, the other wrist the opposite way, or vice versa, to try and initiate that move of the bike going over. Then as you do the twist, you're going to want to push your one arm in and flex it, and push the other one out and extend it to get that nice fold with the handlebars and start bringing the bike up. And at the same time, you're going to want to try and put your knees together and either push one over the frame or put them together and fold the bike down, bending your legs accordingly in a similar fashion to your arms to get that bike to go nice and flat. Once you get to your flattest point here, you're going to want to hold it for as long as you can. Try to get the back wheel as close as you can to your shoulder, even to your head, because it feels real good to do it. It looks real nice. And then once you've reached the peak of your air, you're going to want to start reversing the action. Just do the exact opposite of what you've been doing. So you're going to want to turn your arms the other way, straighten them out again, straighten your legs out again, make sure your feet are flat on the pedals, and nose the bike in nicely. And then you're just going to want to pump away as you would normally for any jump or trick that you've done before. To summarize what I just went over there, you're going to want to approach the jump with the same speed you would to jump it normally. When you get to the top of the lip, you're going to want to pull up a little bit harder than you would normally. And as soon as you're there, start twisting your one wrist one way, another wrist the other way. And then flex your one arm and extend your other arm out to start bringing the bike and the handlebars in. And at the same time, bend your knees and try and put them together and fold them over the one side of the bike, the opposite side where you want the bike to go. Then once you're at the peak of your air, you're going to want to try and have your front tires close to your shoulder and your head as you can, the bike fold over as flat as you can. You're going to want to hold it for a few seconds if you can manage it. And then once you start dropping, you're just going to want to do the same thing but in the opposite direction. So extending the one arm, bending the other one in, bring the knees apart, push the bike down, and then as you come to land, nose the bike in, pump and landing as normal, and roll away an absolute champion. For the next clip we're going to analyze, we're going to go to a different angle of the tabletop, this time on a step up quarter to bank, looking at the front of me to show the arm motion. So again, we're going to show this one in normal speed, then in 1/4 speed slow-mo. So coming up, cranking that tab, up the step up, then in slow-mo, pulling up, cranking it over. Feels good, looks good, it's such a fun trick to do. So let's break it down from this angle here. So to start off, once again, I'm approaching this quarter pipe with the same speed I would to air it normally, maybe a little bit more if I want to go higher, because again, with tabletops, you can blast them a lot higher than you can normal airs. When I get to the top of the lip, I'm pulling the bike up a little bit more than I would normally. Even for a quarter pipe, you still pull up and away a little bit to get yourself that tabletop position. As soon as I'm in the air, I begin twisting my right wrist in and my left wrist out to start that motion of folding the bike over, and begin to sort of position my knees and push my knees over so the bike will move. You can see on the way up, I'm pushing and pushing and pushing. Then when I get to the peak of my air, I've got the table clicked and held. My right arm is completely flexed, my left arm completely extended. The front tire is very close to my shoulder and my face, and my knees are together and bending over towards the bike. And then as soon as I've hit that sort of like tire hitting mark, I begin to do the motion the opposite way, quickly snap the bike the other way by extending my right arm and flexing my left arm again, moving my knees back apart to straighten up. And then I'm just aiming to land as close to level as I can, land both tires, and pump away a champion. And to quickly summarize that one more time, approach the jump with the same speed you would to jump it normally, pull up, twist one wrist one way, the other wrist the other way, fold that bike in by flexing your arm, extending your other arm, use the knees as well, doing the same motion. When you get to the peak of your air, you want to have the front tires close to your shoulder and head as you can, then just reverse the motion from the way down and pump away a champion. Next clip we're going to analyze is one of the 360 spinning sort of helicopter mount on my Enduro bike, which gives a really nice up-close front-on look what the handlebars are doing. So again, we'll play this one on normal speed, then slow motion. So here's a normal speed, quick little table on the Enduro rig, and then in 1/4 speed, see me coming up the lip. See that nice twisting motion, the knees working, tables over flat, then rolling away a champion. So let's break this thing down. Okay, so once again, approaching the jump with the same amount of speed I would to jump it normally. Come up the lip, I'm pulling up a little bit to get myself in that position, to get my front wheel high to start folding into the tabe. Then you can see here, I immediately start flexing my right arm, extending my left arm while doing that wrist twist motion. You can see how that brings the bike up really quickly, and you'll notice at the same time, if I back up, that while I'm doing that, this shows really well what I do with my knees. You can see my knees coming together really close towards the frame, and that right knee of mine folding over and pushing the bike down, almost like forcing it to go down to that flat position. And while that's happening, my arm is flexing, the other one's extending, got the table clicked, the front tire is reasonably close to my face and shoulder. You can see where my knee is pressing, almost touching the frame, exactly where you want it to be. Or if you're doing it non-goofy footy, you're going to want your knee over the frame. Hold the table for a sec. And then once I've got the peak of my air, I'm just going to extend my arm back out, flex my left arm in, put my knees back where they were, and bring the bike down, land as normal, and pump away an absolute champion. And so to summarize that one more time, come into the jump, same speed you would to jump it or a bit faster, pull up, give the wrist a twist at the same time, twist the knees and press that bike down, flex the arm and extend the other one, bring the bike up close to the shoulder. When it's at your shoulder, hold it there for a second, then do the exact opposite motion, push the bike back down, straighten up, and pump away an absolute hero. This last clip is from a GoPro chest angle of me doing a tabletop over hip at the local BMX track, and I think it shows really, really well what I'm doing with my hands, the kind of point of view you'll see it. So again, we'll watch in normal speed, then 1/4 speed. See me approaching the jump, click a quick tabe, land, roll away, down to 1/4 speed, approaching. See that pulled up, the twist of the wrist, and the extension and flexion of the arms, and then snapping it back to land. So let's quickly analyze this one to finish up this how-to. So once again, as I've said many times in this video already, you're going to approach the jump with the same amount of speed you would to jump it normally or a little bit more. When you get to the top of the jump, you're going to pull up a little bit more than you would to jump it normally, and then you're going to start twisting the one wrist a little bit and one way and the other one the other way, and then at the same time simultaneously flexing your arm and extending your other arm to get the bike in table position. When you're at the peak of your air, you're going to want to have the bike as tabled as you can, as far as you can. And as you'll see from this angle here, you end up sort of doing a motion where, for me, because I tabletop my right side, my left hand ends up quite a bit further forward than my right hand. My right hand ends up close to my chest, my left hand pointed out that way due to the left arm extending, the right arm flexing. Going to hold it for a second, and then when you come down, you're going to unflex that right arm, bring the bike straight, move the knees again to get them straight, and then pump away to land. Summarize one last time on this clip and all the other clips we've done. You approach the jump with the same speed or even a little bit more, and you're getting confident to do the table. You pull up at the top of the lip, give the wrist a twist and flex and extend the arm. You're going to want your left arm as far away from you as you can, your right arm in close to your chest, or vice versa if you table the opposite way to me. Hold it for a moment. Remember to use your knees to push the frame down, position your feet accordingly. Then when you're at the top of the air, you're going to want to start pushing the bike back down to nose and roll away to land, an absolute champion. Stoked that you've done your first tabletops and stoked that you've laid it flat for all the boys and all the homies to see. All right, everyone, that is my breakdown of how to do a tabletop. I really hope it helps you to work on your tabletops and to get them dialed so you can start doing them on all your bikes and everywhere you go. Some extra tips I'd give you are that, like, no one I know, and definitely myself included, never learns tabletop first try. Like, it's a tricky ball. You just got to work at, and keep practicing. And it gets, like, perfected over years of time. And then you can always do tabletops better. Like, if you look at, like, my tabletops, think they're really good, you should check out some of the ones that guys like Thomas Shannon or Eric Fedko do, or even Emilio Hansen. I'll quickly chuck a couple photos of their tabletops in now. Yeah, so that goes to show how well you can do tabletops. Like I can do them really good and I've been doing them for like 10 plus years, but I can still get better at them. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right straight away because it does take a bit of time to get them right. And I honestly encourage you, like, do them both ways. Try them on straight jumps, try them on hips, try them on quarter pipes. As I said, hips and quarter pipes are easier, but the more different places you try them, the better you'll get at it. Remember to do those steps. Approach the jump with the same speed you would to jump it normally. Pull up a bit more, twist the wrist, bend one arm, extend the other. Get that front tire close to your face, then reverse the action to when you're coming down to land, and it should eventually work out for you. And once you've got tabletops down, they open up so many other tricks. Like my most favorite trick of all time doing my bike is a 360 table. That's a trick that I wouldn't be able to do if I couldn't table. You can also do stuff like flip tables or even add them into combos, like do tuck to tables, or some guys do all kinds of different combos. And as I say, like they're one of the coolest looking most timeless tricks on the mountain bikes, and I'd say some of my most favorite photos I've ever got on my bike of myself, or even photos I've seen of other pro riders are doing tabletops. So hopefully this video helps you to get them dialed in. You can start getting photos like that and doing awesome tables like I've shown you in this video or you see other pros doing. That is going to be the end of this week's video, guys, so I really hope you appreciate this how-to and it helps you out. I'd appreciate it heaps if you give the video a like, so it means more people see this how-to, it means more people see my video, it helps me out. Leave some comments below of any other tips you have for people who are learning tabletops, or if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram or leave a comment below. Share the video around with anyone who you think might enjoy it or benefit from it, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, team. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers!